Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whistler Status 74. You're looking at the Sony X950H, the PS4 Pro, Horizon Zero Dawn from Guerrilla Games. It is being filmed in HDR. It should show up for you at HDR 1080p. And just want to show you how gorgeous this game is and how good the HDR performance is on the Sony X950H. I've had a display for nearly a month now. I've really run it through its paces. I am actually very happy with it. My only drawback to it is, again, we turn up the aperture because you're seeing some of that there it is. It's very samey, meaning that it's very similar to the 950G and the displays that came before it. I do believe it's a little bit brighter. I do like the Dolby Vision on it, but it does have more of that pop. The question will always be with Sony, is it different enough? And in my opinion, it's not different enough, but I do like the display very much. Special thanks to Robert and Wendy Zone from Value Electronics for supplying the display. We're going to spend a couple minutes with each game. And before we do that, I'm going to show you what game settings we are using right now. But that is a beautiful place to stop right there. Here we are at the settings. We're going to go into the picture settings mode. We are in game mode. Auto picture mode is off. Brightness is going to be at max. Contrast is at 90. Gamma is at 0. Black level is at its 50. Black adjust I do like to have on high. I do enjoy that feature. Advanced contrast is off. Auto local dimming is on high. Extended dynamic range is on high. For displays like the Sony's, if you're experiencing blooming outside of HDR a lot of times, or jail bars, a lot of times extended dynamic range is the culprit. You can turn this off if not in HDR. If you're seeing that, you're seeing some screen uniformity issues. That can help at times. Color, we are at 55. Color temperature is at warm. Live color I do like. I have it on medium. You can change it. You can actually knock it completely off. I do like the pop that it provides. It doesn't really oversaturate the image. If you do find the image to be oversaturated, live color is, in my experience, not too helpful outside of HDR. Reality creation is off. And we also have smooth gradation, I believe. Everything is pretty much off. Let's see. Motion is off, and smooth gradation is off. So you've seen a pretty basic game mode here. And again, with Sony's color, you know, it's never really saturated. It's a very neutral image. It can be very cool, but it's a beautiful image. And why I like showing it in HDR, though I'd rather show it to you in 4K, is you'll be able to see the colors. And that's what HDR for me really is. Specular highlights, again, are beautiful, but it's really the color. I am a huge gamer. I don't play a lot of games just due to time constraints, so you'll always see the beginning of a lot of these games. If you go back on the channel as well, you can also see this on the Vizio Quantum XP series, the Sony 900E and the LG B8. And you'll be able to compare them. I would say that this is nearly as bright as the Vizio. At least by eye. I'm sure it's not as bright, but it does come off with that brightness. You know, that brightness does have a price, though. You will see some blooming off angle. Again, keep in mind it's a 49-inch display. The viewing angle is very narrow at a display this size. But the blooming I see is more due to off-angle viewing than it is dead-on. It is present, like it was with the 950G. But I do also think there's a panel-by-panel variance when it comes to blooming and defects. A great game. Just seeing all the different colors of the plants. And with the color tab, you can make it as saturated as you like. I do like things to look as true to their source, but it just looks real. All right, guys, moving on to the next title. Here we are at another gorgeous title, God of War. This is the beginning of the campaign. I actually did beat this game, you can tell by my armor. But the latter part of the game is extremely saturated, and I don't really love the appearance on it, on any display. And I didn't feel like traveling back through, so I started the campaign over. You see how gorgeous that game is in the skybox, the peach colors. That sound in the background is actually my PS4 Pro. Sounds like a jet engine. Hope they figured that out with the PS5. You just see the difference in the color when it comes to HDR. And how the flames actually pop as you get close to them. Now, what do you guys think of God of War? Were you happy with the new direction of the game versus the amazing over-the-top action of God of War 3? I really loved this title, but God of War 3 was amazing. I loved the overpowered and flying abilities. I think in this game I would have loved more variation of the enemy as well, instead of the trolls over and over. But you can definitely see how gorgeous, you know, the detail is on his armor. Just how, you know, HDR is about specular highlights, about how bright those flames are, but it really is the different colors in the clouds. But just a beautiful game. Now, I definitely recommend the 950H. And I've said this in every video I've done on it. It's just hard to recommend if you already have a Sony display. If you're coming up from a lower brand or a model that doesn't have HDR, or maybe it was an edge-lit IPS, it's an excellent choice. It is beautiful. But again, if you're coming from a display that is similar, or if you're buying a 950G, it's a better value. And that's just without HDMI 2.1, which would make it an easy choice if they did include that. But gorgeous game. The sun.
What did you find?
Gorgeous game.
Tracks. Not deer, though. I'll keep looking.
Now, I'll show you more action sequences when I'm filming at 4K 60. But when it comes to HDR, I just want to show you kind of the beauty of the image. Because HDR does have that painting kind of look to it. We'll do the same video for Xbox One X and the PC. And games that don't have HDR, I will do side by side with the Sony 900E. One of my favorite PS4 Pro titles is Wipeout. You can find it in the PlayStation Store. I think it's only 20 bucks. But very vibrant game. It's actually 3 or 4 games for the price of one. And it is a gorgeous game, especially for HDR and for vibrancy. You'll see me hit the wall plenty here, but I haven't played it in a while. Now, if you'd like to see any of these games individually in a video, let me know in the comments. We'll be covering, again, the PC, the Xbox One X, and the reason you'll see them side by side with the 900E non-HDR is the splitter does not have HDR pass-through. So the image looks very different. All right, another wall, thank you. Due to the resolution, you'll probably see more motion blur than I see. But staring at that statue off to the corner, beautiful, beautiful. Try and show a couple different tracks here.
Contender eliminated. Cannon. Contender eliminated. Plasma. Energy critical. Missile. Contender eliminated.
Well, give this game a look. I think it's only $20 if you like the racing combat.
Contender eliminated. Missile. Missile. Contender eliminated. Rockets. Contender eliminated. Bomb.
Should have picked a race.
Cannon. Plasma. Missile. Cannon. Rockets. Plasma. Contender eliminated.
Alright, keep switching it up. Now here we are, one of the original HDR titles on the PS4 Pro, Ratchet and Clank. And this game does look really nice. One thing I wish was different in this game was I wish they had some display options. There is no HDR slider. But I want to take a second just to show you how this game looks. One of the titles when HDR first kind of came out for these games that made the display look like it wasn't as bright, but it added a lot of depth to the image, where the non-HDR seemed sharp and maybe a little bit clean, but looked too saturated. This does add a level of color.
Use the warrior's time-honored tradition of jumping. Ratchet knew he faced mortal peril.
But game does look really
himself
nice.
On the verge of death, he'd need to find nanotech to heal.
I used that stuff after a bank robbery once. It healed like 3 out of 5 gunshot wounds.
Great game. And you can see the detail on these little frogs as I'm killing them. They don't last very long, but beautiful title. Again, very basic game mode settings. Live color is enabled, black adjust is enabled, but no dynamic contrast or anything like that. Moving on. Lastly, we'll look at Uncharted Lost Legacy, another gorgeous title. We'll save Uncharted 4, Last of Us, Spider-Man for the next video. We'll say Sony, just as far as their original titles, this cannot be matched. Beautiful game.
Just exploring our options. Sit tight. Well, she certainly lives up to her reputation.
Last of Us masterpiece. I do not miss moving these things around, I'll tell you that.
Here we go.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. How about we avoid crates from now on? Okay.
But the color in these games just gorgeous.
Up ahead. What was it? Shit.
Let's see if I can kill this guy. Just show you some of the color in this room.
There's some cheap office supplies if you want them.
You're always this talkative on the job.
Yeah.
Wish I could do pull-ups like this. See ya.
One less problem.
All right, guys, we're going to end it here. PS4 Pro, X950H, great display. Again, the only thing is just not much different than what has come before it. Still recommend it. But beautiful HDR performance. You've seen it on these games. Any other games you'd like to see, let me know. If I have them, I'll show them to you. And we'll be covering the Xbox One X and the PC. Again, special thank you to Value Electronics. Please consider making your next purchase through them. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will see you in the comments. Take care.